Welcome to the Irrelevant Podcast. I'm Nathan Jones, joined by my co-host Alex Lewis, and this is Everything Irrelevant in the world around us. Thank you for joining us today. Today on the podcast, we have a special guest with us. We have Kalil Sherrod. Kalil is a former D2 basketball player, an independent sports performance coach. He's also the creator of the Conjugate Seminar. What year is that in now, Kalil? Is that year 2 you've ran that?
4.
You're 4. 4 years of the Conjugate Seminar running. We'll talk about that later. He's also the host of his own podcast, the Get Clean podcast. He's the author of the Basketball Player's Training Guide, and also here with us today, he is still the heavyweight champion of the world, Kalil Sherrod. Ladies and gentlemen, Kalil, thank you for coming on.
Awesome to be here.
Kalil, what are you the world heavyweight champion of, my friend?
I just thought of something, but it's R-rated, so never mind.
It's not a PG-13 podcast. Don't worry, you're fine.
Smashing.
Careful.
Yeah, just gonna say
Okay,
that.
PG-13 and a half.
That was
How
the
about
first thing
that?
that came to mind. Yeah. Smashing back honey buns like I just did,
Oh my god.
Keep it sweet, keep it savory.
Well, we were talking about beer pong.
I just made that.
A second ago. Well, Kalil, first of all, thanks for coming on. First thing I just wanted to ask you is, you said you're a D2 basketball player. Okay, for all of us unfortunate types like Alex and myself. What made you get where did you start playing competitively to the level that you thought maybe I had a chance to play in collegiate, kind of like in a collegiate setting? Like, how did you get to the realization of I'm gonna be pretty good at this?
Probably I want to probably say my 9th grade year. Funny thing is, like, my middle school, I never made my middle school team at all.
Okay,
I
Michael.
think I was one of the I was one of those kids where, because I'm only 5'10" now, so middle school I was probably like 7th and 8th grade. I was probably between 5'6" to 5'8", and then I was always bigger at the guard position, but I was even skinnier because I was a kid. So in middle school, the best teams, they just try to get the biggest kids, and you can miss. It's kind of no offense to the WNBA, but you can kind of miss 5 layups in a row in middle school if you're tall, because no one can jump and they're shorted. So
there he is. He cut out on us. Alex, are you there still?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Kalil.
Uh-oh.
Mic check.
Great year.
There he is.
Here we go.
It's good. Yeah, there's some calls started going through. I hanged it up, and it's still
No, you're
the
good.
voicemail series shit. So,
Nice.
9th grade year, I make my JV team for basketball, and I think by the midpoint of that season, I started starting. Yeah, and I could, and then it was slowly but surely. Then 10th grade year, I won the MVP of my JV team. We had the best record. I think we went 10-1 or 10-2, and for the first time out of JV or varsity, we beat our rival school in the final game off a game winner from me.
Hey,
That's how we ended up. So then, and this was when I was in Florida, and I started starting on the varsity team for the summer league, and that's when I was like, all right, I have some work to do, but I'm pretty good because I was starting over some juniors already that were going into their senior year. And I was getting good minutes, and I was doing pretty good. And then I transferred, so we moved back to New York City the summer of after my sophomore year, before junior year. And then, they already had a team at the school, but I was 6-man at first, and then I started starting. By midway through that season, I think we lost in the first or second round of the playoffs. And then my senior year, I was the captain. And I think we went the farthest in 10 years of that school. And I basically I remember my principal was basically, you're responsible for bringing back up our athletics. That's what she said. Because the next year, all the kids that were underneath me junior year, they I think they went to either the same round or just below. But I was that kid that was constantly yelling at them in practice and stuff, respectful, but I was more leading by example, but there was times where I was getting in people's faces. You know what I mean? Just a little. I had teammates that could be a lot better, and I knew that, but they were just kind of lazy. And the problem was, except for one kid out of the 3 grades below, only one of them besides me went on to play college. So a lot of them, it was like I'm playing on the team to get girls. I'm playing on the team to get a credit. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard for me to get them to commit. Like it's hard for LeBron to get AD to commit, and he's playing for money. These kids don't even want to play in college. So
Hey,
like,
AD had that dog in him last
coming
night,
through.
though. He
He's
looked
coming
good
through.
last night. 23 boards. The
You gotta
Lakers are
keep it
back,
up.
baby. The
If he
Lakers
plays
are back.
he doesn't even need 23, but if he can average 25, 15, and 3,
Yeah.
we can win the chip.
If he could just be
And-
AD, you mean he could just be like potential All-Star AD?
Be his talent. Like if he just lives up to his talent, yes.
Yeah,
I'm not even asking him to go above that, but we need because clearly my boy LeBron. I don't know if it's more so the foot, but after he came back after beating Kareem's record, my boy looked tired. He's like, please, AD,
help.
help.
D'Angelo's looked good too, though. D'Angelo's played pretty well.
But D'Angelo's another one where he comes and go. Like we have like 6 role players that are all really, really, really good role players.
Yeah.
But they all like pick a game when to come.
Did you?
But I can get 2 as long as I get 2 of them. I'm happy with.
Did you take Lakers in 6 then? Is that what you're predicting?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Lakers in 6.
Yeah.
My buddy
I
said
just think
Warriors in 6.
What?
So
I just think the Warriors. I think they shot the best they'll shoot all series.
Well, yeah,
they still
ended
lost
the game on a 14-0 run or whatever it was to get it even close. It wasn't a game until the last 2 minutes.
That was probably the most impressive part of the Lakers, that they kept them at bay. Because remember the last 3 possessions, I think AD blocked a shot, Vanderbilt blocked a shot. Like they basically just didn't let them, and they were forced them off the line and said, and then we're gonna let AD clean it up, and then that's basically what they did.
Yeah.
Now we'll see how it goes where the Warriors play the zone.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what they're going to do, but I'm sure the Lakers know that, and hopefully they got some probably high-low action. Somebody flashed to the top of the key, pass it back down to AD, and double it down. Like I didn't like that AD had 25 in the first or 23 in the first half and only scored like 10 more points, but he only shot like 4 more times.
Right.
Man, fuck all that. Get 55 on that hit. I think they literally have no one that can guard him. Like if Looney goes out the game, he knows Draymond Green, even Draymond Green in his prime would have a hard time getting 80 to go down to like 40-something%. But when he's got Looney on him, it's like a 70%.
Yeah, it's over.
But they got to keep Looney because no one else can rebound.
Yeah.
If it like I said, they were not going to beat Sac, even as bad as Sacramento played, if Looney didn't play like Dennis Rodman. Yeah. They made him look like Dennis Rodman.
Well, he did in the first series. He was like
points.
He did in the first series. He looked like Dennis Rodman in the first series with all the rebounds he was grabbing.
But he got, I think, 20 yesterday. Yeah. He still did good, but it's because they're making AD have to contest them jump shots in the wing, so he's still getting some. But then the Lakers, with the difference between the Lakers and Sac is that after he would get a rebound, he would kick it out. Somebody on the Lakers actually found that shooter. Sacramento would just stand there and watch and say, well, let's see if you make it. I'm like, what the hell y'all doing? It's a game Golden State Warriors.
two greatest 3-point shooters of all time, and you're not going to at least try to run them off the line?
Yeah, Jordan Poole's bad, but I'm not going to leave that motherfucker open from 3. He can clearly shoot.
Shot well last night,
Yeah, he did. And that's my thing. They had the first time in NBA history, 3 players each made 6 threes. Jordan Poole had his best game out of the 8 games he's played all season, and they still lost. So I like the thing is that it's a do or die for Golden State the next game. Because
you can't go back to LA.
They're not winning 2 of the Lakers. They'll go down 3-1.
Can't go down 2-0 going back to LA.
If I'm the Lakers, I go all out in this next game because I know I'm now in their head. Because they came back down from 0-2, but they went back for games 3 and 4 to their place. They're going back to LA. So, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Hey, Alex can actually watch these games because they're West Coast times. If you actually wanted to watch them,
I have not slept. That's another reason. I finished my last treatment, bro. But the last 2.5 weeks, it's been fucking stay up till fucking 1 and get up at 5:30 for 7 a.m. clients. Like,
these times are terrible. I was like 9.
So good.
The only games I've watched for Nuggets games.
Oh, you're not that. Are you just selling out with the Nuggets now?
The rest of the world is the opposite.
I watch hockey.
Everything besides Nuggets.
Nobody watches the Nuggets because they're just boring to watch.
I've been watching that. I watched both the Suns games because I was like, that's going to be interesting. The Timberwolves, it's like, come on. But the Suns, I'm like, but now I'm not going to watch it because they've only confirmed what I thought. The Suns don't have any depth. They can't guard nobody because they got to score all the points between their starters. They can't even guard anybody because they're afraid to foul. It's easy work. And DeAndre Ayton,
he ain't it.
that bro is basic. He is basic. Jokic is gonna keep torching his And CP3, look, jumped up in the air, pulls his groin. Right on schedule. Right on schedule.
It's always there
There
in the
goes that
playoffs.
vegan diet. There goes
Yeah.
that vegan diet.
Eat a little
Oh.
meat, Chris. Come on now. Oh, so okay, so you played. Then you finish out your high school career. You go to play, obviously, at this Division II.
First, I went D3.
D3.
At
Okay.
St. Joseph's in Brooklyn, and then I transferred to D2 at Villa Maria up in Buffalo.
Did you try to play any kind of professional ball after that?
Yeah, I played a little bit of semi-pro. So I played at Jamestown in upstate New York.
Yeah.
For the Jamestown Jackals for a little bit, and then I played on 2 different teams for a few games in New Jersey. I can't remember what the hell they were called. But I originally moved down to Atlanta because I was going to play on this team called the Georgia Kings. And then the season started in March of 2020. And what happened then? COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
And then I always tell that story. I told my girl, I was woke up one morning, I was like, yeah, I'm done. I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
During that pandemic, we were working out 4 to 5 days in the house. We bought dumbbells, bands, PVC pipes, all that stuff. And I would go to the outdoor courts because that was the only thing open once or twice a week. And I was just like, nah. I train and I'm around people that play overseas and play semi-pro and stuff like that. The grind to do that, you can't cheat it. So it's I was just I'm not in love with this anymore. And I've always known I wanted to do this, what I do now post basketball. So I was I could take 5 more years to get a G League contract and make $38,000 a year and make less as a coach, or I could just start doing what I also love and just be a coach.
Yeah. So
I tell people all the time.
were you already
Yeah.
working towards becoming the performance coach that you are now as your basketball career was progressing, or what got you into that side of things? Like were you already just trying to think, okay, this will be my future beyond basketball, or did it kind of happen during that pandemic session? Like when the pandemic hit, did it kind of take you to the next step, or were you already working towards that anyway?
Well, it just officially made it where I wasn't tied between both worlds or whatever. It just made me kind of evaluate stuff because like I said, the clearest indicator was I didn't stop lifting. I
Right.
stopped having the desire to go. And any serious baller would be, leaning more to the opposite. If they know anything, they should keep lifting, but they'd be doing both. And it just wasn't there. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. But what got me started originally just in the knowing I wanted to do this at some point post. Both my parents were trainers when they were younger. And I had started doing coaching. I did coaching some basketball and as just a regular trainer at Crunch when I was 19.
Okay.
So after my freshman year of college, I started doing that. And then on the side, I had on and off, in between, I would go to because I had switched schools, in between that, I was doing trading on the side. But I had started reading Louis' books when I went to the D2 school because my buddy that put me on the powerlifting, Pat, he mentioned Westside, and he showed me a few clips of them once. And I was like, why don't you do it? And he was like, yeah, it's too much math to keep track of and stuff like that. But then I remember what he said, and I started getting into it. So I ordered the book of methods, or I think my girl may have got me that for my birthday at some point. And this was before when I went to the D2 school, and got me all the old tapes and stuff. So I just started testing out the stuff on myself. And I was I already noticed I was doing it wrong when I look back, relatively. But I had already started feeling better. And I was the only guy, despite all the dumb stuff they made us do in practice that were destroying everybody. I was the only one that made it through the season without having to miss in games, and then that was that first eye opening, oh, this is really cool. And we had an athletic trainer that was typical, only knows how to tape ankles. We would do the workouts, and bro, I would use a quarter of the weight I would, because I was still lifting 3 days a week, even in season on my own. We had a 24-hour gym in our dorm, and I would go and lift there or at the school gym when I had time. And I would we probably only had team lifts 5 to 10 times, including preseason. So it was easy for me. When they would do something, yeah. I'm like, ooh, that's hard. I'm doing 50 pounds in the chest press. I'm struggling. It's tough. So, and then I've always loved coaching and making other people better. And I felt like I slowly, even while I was playing and when I was trying to do semi-pro and all that stuff, like I just kept finding myself, man, I really am diving more and more, doing more. Like I fucking always hated school. Like I still have a year and a half left on my degree because I hate sitting in a fucking classroom and I hate reading about shit that I either find pointless or I'm not going to use. And so like my degree's in business that I still got to finish. We'll see if I do. And it's like, I'm like, yeah, this is good and all. But if you ask me to read one of these damn books beside me right here, like Super Train and shit like that, it's like, that's a doctorate level book. Why can't I get through dumb Shakespeare? Because I find it useless. You know what I mean? And then the annoying part is what makes it even suckier is like I know too many people that are really good at what we do, and if they have the degrees that they say you need, most of the great guys that we know, they're like, yeah, those degrees are pointless.
Yeah.
And the ones that think they're good, they're not freaking good strength coaches. Let me tell you that. If their advisors like, yeah, you need this damn degree. No, you don't. You know, like too many like the exercise science, it's like it's geared towards go to physical therapy school. So it's not geared towards learning actual performance and how the human body moves or training somebody to raise their squat benches.
Yep.
I mean, how many guys we would get at my old place that I was working at, and it's like we get them in the door, they got an exercise science degree, and the motherfucker don't know what drop sets are.
They can't coach. Yeah.
Can't cue the lifts even in a basic fashion. Like the only interns we would get from schools that were graduating, about to graduate, that were decent were the ones that were powerlifters. If they didn't, they had no clue about training. And it's like, so you should be that much in debt, spend 4 years. The degree says exercise science. You know nothing about exercise. And the science, as we know, is not up to date and is often wrong. So you're not even really, you're just learning the bones and muscles. Mm-hmm. Like, great, you can recite that, but you don't actually know how they respond to training, et cetera, et cetera. So
is that your degree helping you, Alex? Does your degree help you do what you do now?
Does my business degree help me do what I do? Let me think. No, I mean, I guess I can draft a pretty good email.
I was about to say, does it even help you on the business side of things? Really?
You know, like, yeah, teaches you how to be like professional, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Come to find out, people just call you out on that. So then there's no, like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's more degrees that are just for getting your foot in the door than they actually are about preparing you for the jobs that you want.
That's what I tell kids.
Too many people I know with a basic business degree have a totally different job, and it's like, did you learn any of that in school? They're like, nah, I just learned it on the fly at the job. And most of the jobs are like, I don't know if it's a lot of jobs too. They maybe it's something where it's like, well, we're not allowed to hire nobody if they don't have said degree, you know, like, or this level of that degree. You know what I mean? Like some jobs, it's like if you don't have a master's, they don't let you get in.
That's just just a company covering their ass.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So
they're just covering their ass because they if they can hire someone that's quote unquote qualified, then they can cover themselves if something does go wrong. So
yeah,
I'm all about that YouTube University.
Get
my Joe Rogan on.
Could probably
bro. I listened to thousands of hours that I learned a lot.
Yeah. If you sit down and listen to Joe, you're gonna learn a ton. You're gonna learn a ton compared to like sitting in a classroom, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because he has the best of the best people where those people are just like Louis, where they know how to cut the extra stuff that they know you won't absorb anyway and may be useless. It's like, hey, let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
We take too many degrees. It's like, oh, this should be 2 years to maybe 3 years I should be spending, and definitely not 3 to 4. And it's like, it's sad that it's like they gotta fill you with a bunch of classes so you spend more money and take more time there.
Yeah.
Plus, my favorite is like, oh, I'm an English major, but I gotta take 2 accounting classes still. It's like, is that to make me mess up and have to redo this class or suffer longer? Yeah, it's definitely about that because I'm gonna forget all this shit as soon as I leave here.
Yeah.
I might have shoved more information.
You know what you're good at, you know,
into learning in the 6 months prepping for that West Side certificate than I did like in all of high school for sure, but maybe even all of college. Like those 15 books in 6 months are no joke. Especially because like super training is one of them, and they're like it recommends which section of super training.
Yeah,
you just list all of them.
Yeah, it's all of them. It was literally
like,
it was like except 100 pages maybe. But even still, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna read the whole thing. I'm not gonna be trying to go back and forth and shit.
Oh God, Super Training. What a book to tackle. I still haven't tackled that book, nor am I gonna ever try again probably to tackle it. But I do reference it quite a bit. I know when I go to
Just
talking.
learn how to use the index. That's all
Yeah,
you need.
that's exact. Like, I've been talking. I've had a few clients ask me questions about stuff recently, and like I know it's in Super Training, and I'm like, I'm not gonna try to quote it, but I know. I'm like, I know how to use an index, so I'll go to the index, find it in there, and literally just show them like what I've highlighted and word for word what's right there. But I'm like, this is why I'm not gonna try to explain it any further. This guy's explaining it better than I am, so here you go.
Or they think you like made it up, or like it's like just some shit you've come up with on your own, because like half the people, or more than half, right, in the industry will just make up shit that doesn't even. They're like, wait, what? Like, no, there's actual science to some of this.
Yeah. The bands one with the combination methods, people are always like, they'll see the bands in my gym and they'll look at them and they'll be like, why do you like, what are the bands for? And I don't even try to explain it anymore. I just go to Super Training, grab the book. I
They
literally
don't do
have them
anything, man. What
look
are you
at the
talking
section.
about?
Yeah, they don't work. They don't work.
Allegedly. That's what a
Allegedly.
lot of people say.
Khalil, do they work? Have you used them with your people?
Yeah. I
I
will
think.
say it depends on the population how much I use it.
Yeah, agreed. I
But
was
like the
about to
Let's
say
put
same
some
that.
context
same
around this.
athlete
What
when he's 10 years old versus when he's 20 and he's a pro, I'll use more bands when he's 20 than when he's 10
Yeah.
because the 10-year-old literally needs a lot of straight weight because they need to get extremely strong. The 20-year-old, he's playing, he has injuries, he's already strong. Now we're just trying to usually get him more explosive. You know, so it's
well,
like it depends.
let's start from this. Like, what do you like to use the bands for, Khalil?
Bands, for most people, squats and deadlifts, chains, bench.
Okay, but what are you achieving by using them, I guess, is a better question. Like, what type of stimulus, or what is it you're gaining for the athlete or the individual?
Some people, I use the bands almost as teaching tools, like the people that don't stabilize in the squat. That's one reason. Some people that slow down towards the top of the lift, I'll use the bands, especially for the squat. Sometimes the bench for the same reason, but only if they're experienced. Because some kids, it's like if I throw bands on the bar, even a micro mini, it may go right into their throat because they're just
Yeah.
don't take it out. Hey,
They do.
Don't be rough. I'll lay down, do it first. Okay. Oh.
I preface
There you
that so hard now. I'm like,
go.
this is gonna fly down if you don't hold it up when you take it out. So hold the damn thing, because if it's not, it's coming for your throat. And they're like that. They're like, oh yeah, what a whoa. And I'm like, sick. There goes my
And then
insurance liability form. Love it.
then the overspeed eccentrics part. So sometimes the faster down, faster up on the squats. So some kids try to lower it too slow, and then also they try to come off the box too slow. So that helps quicken that process. So hopefully we take the bands away. Then with the straight weight when they're grinding, they're a little bit faster.
So you've
And
actually seen speed carryover from using the bands.
yeah, and then especially the deadlift off the bottom. That's the deadlift. That's great because most people will struggle. Oh,
God,
okay. I don't know about most people, but just a lot of, especially the kids, they're not aggressive. The bands will make you have to be aggressive, otherwise it just doesn't get up.
that lift, I feel it more than any other lift on the planet. When you put bands over a deadlift, when you're trying to do like a max effort variation,
Yeah,
and it just absolutely tries to staple you to the
you gotta
floor.
hold the bar harder. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like some kids that I don't know why they do this crap. Like even when my grip goes, it's like I pick the bar up or I don't. But some kids like holding the bar and they're just pussyfooting around. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? But them bands, if you ain't holding that thing, they're gonna fly right
it's
back out.
gone. Yeah, that lift will eat your soul if you're not ready for that lift. I don't know though.
Nathan, what do
Bottom
you
of the
like to use
squat.
bands for?
What do I like to
What
use
is
them for?
yeah?
I don't,
Why do you use bands?
I don't get to use them very often. I only get to use them with myself right now. I did have a few athletes that got to the level of strength where we could use them. I see a lot of kids that come in that are lacking that explosiveness, like kind of like what Khalil was talking about. They can be pretty strong. They're pretty good at using maximal weights, and I like to kind of use the method that Louis used with more band tension, less weight, to teach them how to be more explosive. And so I overload the bars with those kids that literally can't jump or they just have no explosiveness at all. Like their explosiveness is gone. I like to use the more band tension, less bar weight to get them to try to keep exploding all the way through the bar, but I rarely have athletes walking through my door that are ready for that kind of method, to be really honest. I'm still trying to get them to the levels of strength where chains and bands and things like that are even can be effectively used. Because it's like Kalil said, it's like he's got people that are 20 that are already at a level of strength where that stuff can be utilized. I still have to build. I'm still working with a lot of people that are just utilizing, trying to get a good base level of strength before that stuff even comes into play. So I think that's where
Well,
a
I
lot of.
was
What type
saying
of
that as an
threshold do they
example.
have to
No,
meet?
I have more. No, I train more kids than I do,
Oh, okay, yeah,
or more people that fit into they're really weak. So
yeah.
I was
So,
just saying. I was saying. Remember, if I have the same kid at 10 and 20,
yeah.
their band usage is very different. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that many kids. Like I have more people that squat 300 below for men and 185 and below for girls.
Well, I
So
think that's what Alex was about to mention. It's like, what level of strength thresholds do they even need to accomplish before that stuff even matters? Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah. So like, what is the threshold that you said you don't have anyone that can use them? So what is the threshold you have to get to be able to use them?
Well, you and I have talked about this, and the book talks about this. If you read any of the literature, it's like he starts at a 400-pound squat. So I haven't
So
got to
then
anybody.
does
I've
that
got one
mean
kid that's got a
for
400
max
pound.
effort variations, there's no value in using bands? Is it only because that's for the speed
No,
portion?
I think you can
Right?
use bands for max effort variations, sure. But I don't really know what the threshold is to use those. Is there a threshold?
I mean, I've used bands with kids that like have those numbers that I say. It's just that I don't use it as much. Like I'll go through like okay, let's perfect example. I had a kid. He squatted 308. He was like 140 something. High school kid. We would do in season out of those. What is it? November to February. In those 4 months, probably 2 to 3 out of those 4 months, it was mostly speed squats. So we were using bands or chains. And then before season and off season, it was mostly straight weight or even a future method.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Anderson squat. So it was a lot more overload, and if it was a regular squat, it was mostly straight weight or straight weight with some chain. So a lot more brief maximum tension like that. If it was in season, try to say, well, we're trying to maintain your strength, right? So the maxes are very like every so often. They're no less than 3 reps. And then the other squat day, it's a lot of shorter range of motion and a lot more lightweight, fast, high sets, high reps, So it was really time of the year and what the kid needs more than I know how good bands are, so I'm just gonna have everybody do it.
Yeah.
But now I know Bird gets great results, but I don't know if it's more, like because of this or because of so many of the other things he do. But he has kids that their percentages equal the bar and a chain and no weight on top of that. And he said he starts kids with bands and chains like from the jump. So, but I don't know if that's because he's also manipulating so much other stuff so well. That goes with every guy, which is why you can't say I'll just copy this coach because it's like, well, based on the population they have, it could be time. Like I know Bitney, when I talk to him, he's like, I only don't use bands because I don't want it to be uneven. And because kids always forget to set it up. It's very easy for them to throw on chains and take them off. Same thing. He's like, I don't use reverse hypers, I only have 2, and I train 30 kids at the same time. There would be a line out the door if I try to use reverse hypers. So he's like, I don't use it. But he knows it works. You know what I mean? So it's like so much of it is like kind of learn from so many of them, and hopefully all the situations why they train this person maybe differently than they normally would, and then when you have that same type of kid or scenario, you can apply that to them. You know what I mean? Like I have people that tell me like, hey, try this 12-week wave, and I literally will title it after that coach that told me about that 12-week wave, and then I'll try it out and I'll say, okay, this I think works for this, that, and then I have that program ready for when it actually like correlates with this type of athlete. You know what I mean? Because so much of this shit is like it'll work great, but it won't great for everybody, right? So you got to have that. This is for this person, and this is for that person.
I mean, having personalized coaching makes a
Yeah.
difference about that.
Unlike most people advertise, actually individualization.
Shameless plug here. There's 3 people that do personalized coaching.
We're the only 3, actually. Sorry about it. If you want to come get your personalized
How to break the fourth wall.
coach.
Looking at you. on the other end of the screen.
Oh god. So why? Okay, Alex, why would you use bands on a maximal effort lift then?
I don't use them at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shut the hell up. I distinctly remember a 12-week wave that I went through where it was just bands on
What
everything.
do I like to use bands for? Was it a 12-week? It was not 12 weeks. It was like 6.
It was like
Where you found all
9,
the different
actually.
maxes. That was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a blast. Loved it until I got
Accommodating
ran into
resistance
the ground.
maxes?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so think about this. Accommodating resistance in a maximal effort case is going to be easier on the more vulnerable joints in the shittier spots. So that's nice.
Yep.
Okay. If you use something like the future method, you can like build your own confidence up with handling bigger weight because you're seeing it happen and your brain doesn't really know that the bands are doing it. Right? Like you it is, but you don't think about it while you're doing it. What else? Just to fuck around.
See
Speaking of
what
which,
works.
I'm benching yesterday, right? And I'm doing warming up and I'm doing 90 and 95%. And this fucking random guy just like loads the other side of the bar while I'm warming up. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm not gonna do anything, whatever. So I do my set, and then like when I go to the other side to load it again, the fucking asshole didn't even put a clip on. And then so I'm like, this is ridiculous. Then I do my sets, and on my back down work, I'm doing speed work. So I set up the red bands, right, in the nice little triangle. And as I go to load it, the same jackass is like, "Hey, can I try this out in between your rest sets?" I'm like, "Who the fuck are you? I don't even know who you are. Like, why are you asking to work in when I don't like who? What? No, leave me alone." I was like, I don't understand it. I don't understand people.
You look
Like,
friendly.
yeah, I'm sure I look real friendly. I'm over here to prep for a meet, right? Like I've never been on a fucking platform, so I'm sitting here trying to like visualize some things, check some shit out, and I got fucking I don't know, people getting offended because I don't want to talk to them. Like, leave me the fuck alone. How about that? Like,
Hey, he's just
I couldn't
looking
believe it. I was really confused. And like
looking
when I
for a
work out,
buddy.
it's not good, right? Like it's that you have to go in and flip that switch. Yeah, that reminded me of
You were
that.
about
So
to
yeah,
flip a
that's
switch, all right. About to kill that guy for touching your barbell.
I wasn't, but it's not even that. It's just like get the fuck out of my bubble. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you lay claim to a bench. Well, you don't know, Nathan. You have your own gym. You can just tell everyone to fuck off.
Well, I mean,
But
yeah, I would like to have a training partner every now and then. That'd be kind of cool. I'd like
I'm
to have
sure
some
everyone has
atmosphere every
gone to
now
the
and then.
gym and tried to lay claim to some piece of equipment or a bench or something, and some jackass with their head up their ass is just taking it, and you're like, motherfucker, I was waiting for that.
Dude, my remote clients tell me that all the time. They're like, I can't get anything done in these sneaky commercial gyms because like you have to just like lay claim and put a stake and then like
Yeah, you do.
claim
I
it,
don't miss that.
grab it, and hold on for dear life.
Right. I'm in a
Going to
private
the
gym. I'm not in a Globo gym. So when I'm on the fucking combo rack, don't fucking load my bar for me and at least not to put a clip on. Jesus fuck. Like what if I didn't know what the fuck I was doing and I rack 225 and I go to do it and it just fucking goes cattywampus and like then what?
I'd
Fucking
say you'd be
people.
in trouble.
I guess I have a real sore spot for it because when I dislocated my shoulder the first time, random dude at the gym was my spot, and that's part of the reason why it happened. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me.
God.
So on military press, don't ever spot at the wrists or not at the elbows. It's always at the wrist.
Yeah, 1000%.
I was like, that
Oh,
was
he
a
did.
fun
Wait,
lesson to learn.
he did it on like a dumbbell. He was doing with you were doing with dumbbells, not a
I had
barbell.
90-pound dumbbells,
Yeah.
right, and to press up. This
I
one
don't.
went. This one went backwards.
Oh god.
Ooh.
Why do people think elbows is the way to spot that? Like, what in your rational mind would think like I can push your
I have-
elbows up when you do this?
I have no fucking idea.
I've never understood that. I'm like, I'm gonna grab their freaking wrist.
Grab this thing here, right?
Yeah.
And you help them, or you push it forward so that they. I don't know.
Well, I tell them that too. I'm like, it's easier to spot. So if they're going crazy or something happens, you can just push the weight away, or you can just like get them away from the weight, or just
Yeah.
grab
Do you
and
guys like
pull.
have to teach your kids how to spot properly? Is that a
Oh.
thing you guys have to do?
Yes, 1000%.
And,
Or
and,
bail
reminding,
even?
and reminding and reminding. all the
Yeah,
time.
there you go.
Stop fucking talking while you're spotting them, you asshole. What are you looking at? Focus on the bar. Keep your hands underneath the bar. I'm trying not to distract the person, but I also don't want them to die while they're squatting. This is happening.
The crazy thing is, it's like it's so fun. You take a video of with them and like what they're spotting, and then like, because you'll tell them like, keep your hands close, like he's saying, keep your hands close to the bar. If it goes down, grab it, right? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I was close, because you'd be like, dude, your hands were like, you weren't even close to the bar. He's like, but I was ready. They're like, I'm ready, but I'm ready. I'm like, you have
No, you're
that
not.
much time if that bar drops, or they're
Have
And
you
dead.
ever
just
seen
spot,
the-
let it fall on your foot.
Have you ever seen the videos on how you're supposed to like professionally spot?
Oh god,
Like with
yeah.
your elbow underneath and not your
Yes.
hands?
Because I went through the
Like-
whole CSCS bull crap for a long
Oh,
time.
really? It does that?
Oh
Please
yeah.
enlighten us.
You have, well, there's a part that you have to pass in the CSCS that's like a position, like it's what's it called? It's the practical, where you have to like show them that you know how to like spot things and like lay out the dimensions of a weight room, this amount of weight across, and like, can you spot
What?
this lift? Can you spot, like, yeah, there's an optimal,
You have to weigh the dimensions of a weight room for. What does that have to do with anything?
Like the
Well,
spacing
like
of
the
like a barbell
spacing
between
and
a
the
bench
like
and a
how far
squat
the
rack, so you
barbells
know you
have.
have enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It-
what the fuck?
just saying, like, it's part
Are
of
we
the
interior
test.
designers or are we strength
Like
coaches? I'm
it's probably
confused.
because if you're the strength coach of a school and you go to like Nate for like he's gonna be asking you to get that info before they actually bring all the equipment.
Yeah,
Because
like
they
You don't
gotta
think
know
Nate
what
knows
can
that? I
actually
feel like
fit
they
in
have a
there.
program that they just plug and play, dude. They gotta have
Now
shit like that.
I went to Nate's when we were at the Swiss. I went to Nate's and his was like on laying out weight rooms. He was like, "No, that's actually a big deal."
It's a
He's
big
like, I've
deal.
had people mess that up, and it's like, "Oh, you're not getting your money back on this or that, or now you got to wait to get the replacement because like it could be the difference of you just need to get this type of squat rack, still from the same company, just a different one because 1 foot less in each rack actually allows you to spot versus literally no one has any space in between.
Can't
And with
move.
kids, you know what that means. Oh, I'm just gonna walk in between while this person's benching, this person's squat, and then before you know, blown out shoulder and feet have been taken away,
Yep.
and then someone loses their job. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised they actually in that it's not as BS as a NASM, but they're just one level above that. But I'm surprised that's a whole section. That's actually pretty important.
There's a whole the practical application of all that stuff, dude. You have to know the complete design and layout of a weight room, and like what they'll ask you a question like, if you were designing a weight room, blah 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 blah, what should the dimensions between the squat racks be if this and this is going on? And it's like, this is why I stopped studying for this test, because like I can't take you people seriously. You're not even talking about training at this point. I'm over.
That's
That's
amazing.
just what you should just have a reference list for. They can just have a reference page.
That's
Like,
all
why
it
would you
is
need
a
to
waiting.
memorize that off your head.
I had a like Adam Jeanette, he passed his just because he was like, I need to get my foot in the door because I possibly want to go into this route where you have to have it. And that's what I
Yeah.
feel like all professional sports have become if you want to be a strength coach, and definitely at the collegiate level where you go grind out a graduate position or an assistant job for 7 to
Yep.
10 years, and then hopefully they pick you to be the strength coach in waiting. And I just feel like that's a terrible career path because you're going to get paid nothing. You're going to work terrible hours.
Well,
I
that's how they
mean-
do it, so they don't have to pay you because it's like, hey, you have no experience, you're a GA,
Exactly.
which is why it's like it's crazy that those kids will get the job over someone like me that's been actually training people for 3 or 4 years, actually as certs that actually teach you. But it's like if they have the exercise science degree CSCS, they're like, we're gonna hire them knowing we can pay them nothing or little to nothing, and then we know who they are, and hopefully if they become good enough, then we'll actually give them 30,000 a year.
Yeah. Well, I get that question a lot because I have a few kids that want to go to this route, and they're like, well, like, how do you know if you should get into the private sector as opposed to the collegiate sector? And I'm like, well, for me, it's no option, like no question. Okay, like I got into this game late. I'm not willing to go be a graduate assistant at this point. At like 30 years old in my life, and like grind away another 7 to 8 years and live in a dorm or whatever I have to do to try to get a job that's decent later on. But I don't know. I tell them like, you got to make that decision for yourself. Like if you want to go into the private sector, go into the private sector. It's a little bit more rewarding and fulfilling, I feel like, but there's some people that have made a career out of the collegiate setting or at the professional setting doing strength and conditioning work that are pretty satisfied and happy. So it's pretty individualized at that, or individual based at that point. I ain't doing it. I'm not going there. Nope.
No, thank you. I can't listen to anyone else tell me what to do.
Yeah, I feel like you would have trouble not being your own boss.
Oh, it was rough. Really rough.
Kalil, you can't see that, right? Alex not being his own
Dude.
boss.
No.
Oh man.
I can't even be in a relationship, let alone fucking listen to someone else who's not giving me something reciprocal.
That's fair.
Doesn't work that way.
Khalil, did you have any desire to go into the college scene, or did you just knew like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing?
Well, I wanted to do the private because I mean my goal is to own my own gym one day. So it's not like I was gonna learn that from most college sector people.
Right.
Like I still like it's not that I wouldn't do it in the future. And I've applied to places and then some of them are like, we went with a guy that we've had for like 10 years, and you don't like some of them it's like, oh, you don't have the CSCS, which is hilarious. Or some of them be like just because you don't have the degree in either exercise science or the kinesiology crap. Um, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like I know some people that the person that was above them, if they were like the director, was either a conjugate guy, triphasic, which is at least close, or just was a guy that was like kind of hands off, like, hey, you're in charge of these teams, train them how you fucking want. I don't care. So like I would do it as long as it's like that. Like,
Yeah.
don't make me do Olympic lifts. And as long as I'm the guy,
What?
as long as I'm the guy that runs whatever said team is, I'm pretty cool with that. Like I could never be like, they could be like, be a GA or something like that. Like I could never do that.
Yeah.
As long as I'm at least in charge of the people who I actually train, I'm cool with having a boss. As long as that boss is not telling me like, hey, I think you should do this when it comes to programming or how you train them. Like, no. But I know some people that have taken jobs that were in the private sector that at least for a time being took a college job and it's like, oh well, the person said they're gonna be hands off, and as long as you like Depp is like he has one of the best situations, especially in high school, because high school I think they're probably even more control than even college.
Oh,
So it's like
1,000% they are.
so he basically does what he wants. Now, not every coach in sport, which is crazy, though he's been working there for 20 years, listens to them and brings their team in, but the ones that do, have won state titles. So and gone to nationals. The ones that don't are pretty trash.
Yeah.
And people are still gonna do and do what they think is right, even though they shouldn't even have a fucking opinion. But yeah, if that answers the question.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't have an opinion. No opinions
Why
for
shouldn't
me.
you have an opinion?
No opinions for me. Oh, people don't even know I exist in this town still, so my opinions are still concluded to the confines of my building, which is fantastic because I don't want any. I just don't care.
You have people that don't know you exist in a 3,000 person town?
Yeah, brother. They don't get outside of their homes, or they don't.
That's interesting.
It's like, what's the number one form of advertisement in my town still? It's the newspaper as well as Facebook.
The newspaper. You guys still have a newspaper?
Yeah, dude. We have
Nice.
not only the newspaper, we have something called the Advertiser. So if you'd really like to advertise, you can put yourself in the
Really?
Advertiser.
Really?
And who's reading it? Just like the old ladies in the town?
Dude, the Advertiser's free and everybody gets it. Now, they're not going to. What they charge you to put an ad in the Advertiser is not so fun, but everyone gets the.
Did you try that already?
I'm working on it right now. Didn't know it. I literally had a lady tell me about it the other day, and I was like, "Yep, think I'm gonna do that."
Like, there's a thing I can advertise in?
The advertisement's stupid though. It's like $200 for like something that's like a business card.
It's a good racket.
Huh?
Good racket.
Yeah, they're freaking raking it in. They're not going anywhere.
Speaking of
Newspaper, small town.
advertisements, Khalil, how'd you start doing a seminar?
You said what?
How'd you start doing your seminar?
How did I start doing my seminar? Well, them from the podcast, because that's basically how I got everybody that I've had speak at the seminars do that. And I just came up with the idea because I was like, well, I don't see anybody covering the conjugate system like purely as there's like for example, like the Swiss has a lot of people that use conjugate that speak. They have a lot of people that do block that speak. They have a lot of people that do linear that speak. And train people. And then obviously they have a lot of people that are just like kind of like in the medical side. But I didn't see a lot of just strength coaches that are manipulating the concurrent or conjugate system. So I was like, well, let me see if I can get people to speak. And bada bing. So the rest is history. People keep agreeing to do it, and hopefully it just keeps growing. And hopefully, like 6 to 10 years from now, it's like one of the higher ones that are very competitive with like the ones like the Swiss and I want to say probably the CPPS and even FRC that have like a really good following because I think mine could be very different. I know Westside just started doing theirs, but I think people may not love doing theirs because Louis just not there. I think a lot of people are not gonna get over the Louis element not being there. So why would I listen to people that I don't even know who the hell they are? Like if you're not in our community, like really in it, you don't even know who Jason is, and you think Tom is still just the guy that hosts the podcast. So, hopefully I can make mine, especially because mine is. I'm never going to try to limit it to one location forever. Mine will always, hopefully, as it gets bigger, I can do them more often and in different locations. So then people, because just like any good seminar, I think the best are the ones that they happen decently often and they're not always in one location because there's always going to be people that are going to be like, well, I'm never going to travel over there, for whatever the reason is. So, hopefully I can, same thing with like the podcast. I just felt a need that needed to be filled. And I said, well, I can do it.
It seems like the conjugate coach community is very hush about what they do. It's not talked about very often. So like you giving them a platform to actually speak about and not only making like, here's an opportunity to speak. Like, I feel like most of the time you just strong arm them into doing it. It's like, hey, you're doing this, buddy. Sorry about it. You have to.
Yeah, like you.
Yeah, like I'm gonna do it next year because you strong armed me into talking about it. So
yeah.
See,
How often is it, Kalil? How often is the seminar?
Once a year. This one so this is going to be the 4th year. I'm doing it in the summer. So that's going to be June 17th. Usually I've been doing it every December. But I was like, let's see if we can do one in the summer, see how it goes. So I don't know if I'll still do one this December or I'll wait till the next summer. Basically, like I'll see like, where I'm at, like working if I'm still just doing the independent stuff, or I may be doing like a job that I may have to be more full time. It may not allow me to travel outside of the travel that I do for work. So um I'll see. But for now I have this one this summer. And if I don't do one this coming December, then I'll be doing it again next summer. So we start once a year. But as I said, as it grows, I'm gonna be trying to do hopefully maybe two or more a year, So maybe like one east, one west, one something in the mid what's that shit called? Midwest?
you can use my gym. You can use my gym to host it. I'm right in the middle, baby. I'm right in the middle.
Where are you at again?
Missouri. Come right smack dab in the middle. So there you go.
In the middle of nothing.
Y'all are gonna be culture shocked when you show up to my gym.
I know what goes on in the middle of Missouri. Nothing.
Yeah. Where's this place at? I'll take you to the McDonald's afterward. The classy gym.
Hey, there we go. You ever make him a gangbang? Speaking of
man.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Heck yeah. It's the only way to
You know there's some people that don't know what that is.
It's unfortunate.
I don't know what the hell gangbang like is a restaurant? Or you
Help
Make
this man out.
gangbang, bro. You go to McDonald's and you go through the value menu, right? And you get a McDouble.
Okay.
And then you get a McChicken. And you proceed to put the McChicken inside the McDouble. And voila. There's your McGangbang.
Done.
Is it good?
Oh, it's delicious.
I mean, is McDonald's ever good?
Yes.
Only if the fries are fresh.
Only if the fries are fresh,
the fries are not fresh?
I don't know.
Who's got the best French fries?
McDonald's.
No.
McDonald's?
No.
You think?
Who's got better fries than McDonald's?
I like Wendy's fries. Big Wendy's fan.
Wendy's fries.
Yes, bro.
Are you dipping Wendy's fries in a Frosty?
Well, duh.
Yep.
Okay.
See, that's because you're that guy. See, my fries
Who isn't that guy?
Good on their own.
You're not that guy?
They're not
Will's
good.
not
That's
that
why
guy.
you gotta dunk them in the Frosty.
This
McDonald's
guy.
fries are good because you eat them by themselves.
What?
You talking about some fresh, crisp, golden McDonald's fries?
I would dip those in a Frosty.
I don't think I've ever had one of those.
I mean,
but
They're
like I
always
said,
like
only if they're
warm
hot.
and
If they're not,
limp and soggy.
yeah. See,
yeah,
those.
right.
Well, maybe it's because you got that McDonald's in your town.
Well,
That's probably
yeah,
what it is.
exactly.
They don't send the good franchise one to your town. Burger
Food.
King got the best burgers though.
Did you try the sandwich from Raising Cane's?
Yeah,
that I told you to
phenomenal.
make, Nathan.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Speaking of fries, Leo, do you go to Do you have a Raising Cane's? Is that
Their
a
fries
thing
are
in
not good.
Georgia?
Cane's is the one that actually has the chicken as the symbol. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't go out this far. I think they're stuck Midwest and
that's
West.
unfortunate. So
Because I
they
saw
give
it
you
in New
this.
Orleans and I didn't go, and I think that was a mistake.
They
That's
give
from
you
what I
this
hear.
Texas toast, right? And if you cut the Texas toast in half, you can stuff
Mhm.
the chicken fingers in the toast, and then put
Mhm.
some fries in there, and
Yeah.
drizzle this
Drizzle
cane
it.
sauce over it, and you have like a slider,
This man opened my
like
eyes
a
today.
like a chicken tender slider.
Damn, bro, I gotta eat. That's making me hungry.
I will say it was not easy to like keep it all into one thing to try to eat it,
But it was
worked
worth it,
out.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah.
Gosh, no Canes, Khalil. Now you talk about being deprived.
I mean, I'm pretty good in Atlanta. We got pretty good food.
What's the best fast food spot though? Because Nathan loves like gas station food,
Oh God! See, he's making
right?
his opinion may not be valid on this.
a
Gas
great
station food?
a great gas station corn
Mud
dog
butt?
will just absolutely make my
Not
day.
the corn dog.
Oh,
It
my
is
A
Lord.
corn
rotated
dog,
on that
nice.
thick shit. Oh
No,
hell
no. No, these are
Some
just already.
crackhead from Quick Trip put that shit on there.
So if I like
Hell no.
if I go and see like like those Love's gas stations, they're just absolutely huge because basically people live at them. You know, these truck drivers live there. So
Yeah.
everything is like it's a quality place, man. Like they're doing
Oh
all right.
man, should have taken you to Johnson's Corner while you're out here. You could have had a crazy cinnamon roll.
Yeah, now I'm disappointed that this
Yeah, I
didn't
stick to
happen.
shit that's wrapped and in the aisle if I'm going to a gas station.
Come on, man. Venture out. Or
No,
like
You got to
the
hit up the
venture
truck
out,
stops
I'm
that have the
gonna shit on
restaurants
myself.
attached.
And you gotta go to the nasty ass bathroom. No, I'm good.
you haven't been in a good Love's then, man. They keep a tight shift.
No,
I'm telling
I
you.
think I've been to one of those, yeah.
Tight shift.
Right.
Everything's clean. Those truckers, man.
Living the high
That's why they
life.
got the massage chairs on the side.
yeah.
Probably have the showers.
Oh, they have everything. You could live in a Love's. I get lost in there. My wife's like, "Hey, we gotta go."
You're like, but look at all this great food. You're like the person, if you had a gas station down the street, you would just spend all your money going to the gas station.
It's not even the food either. It's just the amount of stuff that they offer you in there. It's like, holy God, they have this at
That's
a
where
gas
he buys
station?
his clothes.
Yeah.
Nathan comes out with a new wardrobe every time.
$3 t-shirt, baby. Here we go.
It says the place in Arkansas you're visiting.
Yeah. Well, I think it just stems back from being like travel baseball all the time. We were just traveling all the time, so we were just in gas stations 24/7.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible.
Not child abuse. It's amazing.
No, it was great. Best times of my life. I love travel baseball. It actually was a blast. Don't miss that.
Yeah. Gas station food. Fuel in the machine.
Bro, when you're playing 5 games a day, it's just pick and grab and go, baby.
Yeah, well, how much better you think people would do if they actually ate well instead of just whatever?
Oh, I'm like tenfold probably, but we didn't have a clue.
Like almost like if you look at old pictures of people like on a beach back in the 70s, everyone was fit. Because we're eating better back then.
I know what is the generation that's like 2000 and like, well, just after millennial. What is that? Gen X or something? Z?
Whatever they want.
First generation where obesity went back up instead of going down.
Oh, oof.
And look at social media. They're born with it. iPad, phone. They start at like 3 years old now. And
Right.
PE, recess just basically doesn't exist in schools.
What is that?
Lunch is now 25 minutes. Bro, as you remember,
Lunch is 25 minutes.
The first 15 minutes was getting your food.
Yep.
25 minutes, bro? And then
Hopefully
they
you're not
spend
getting
more
a
time
fight
in
in
the
line.
classroom.
They're not feeding you anything in those lunches.
Yeah. And they start SAT prep in like 6th grade now. Like, so.
And I remember school lunch as a kid. It was not high quality, that's for sure.
It's way
Mine
worse
was actually
now.
pretty good. Mine was
Yeah,
actually
It's
pretty
worse now?
Oh. They
I
were like
thought
subs eat free. Like I was like, oh, I'm a substitute teacher. I could eat free when I was doing that thing or whatever. Like I was
Mhm.
slipping for a while. I wasn't touching that stuff.
I thought
And you
like
wonder what
Michelle
kid.
Obama went through the schools and made them all healthy. What happened to
Oh,
that?
she tortured it. She torched it. She put it to the stake. Like it's not good,
Oh,
man. They don't. It's not that
huh.
it's not healthy. It's they don't give them enough. Like
Yeah, they
like.
don't. Everything is so many of the kids is all about like trying
Oh,
to. Andy told me about this because she does so much with nutrition, and she told me that there's a new eating disorder, and it's basically where all you only thing you eat is health, what's supposedly healthy.
ugh.
So then you're under eating because, like, do you know how many kids
Oh,
will say to me,
Jesus.
McDonald's, Taco Bell, I would never. It's so unhealthy. I'm like, yeah, and you got no neck, and it looks like it. You're trying to play fucking sports.
Got no neck.
Guess what that man Shannon Sharp ate? Whatever mama put on the plate. Most of the time that shit was fried fucking chicken, spam sandwiches, and the motherfucker was yoked up to his neck. And your ass
Seafood diet.
eating salads
Seafood
all
and eat
day,
it.
130. Yeah.
Ray
I don't know why I
Zingler
can't gain
diet.
weight, coach. Because you ain't eating, motherfucker. That's why.
Hey, man, you know how hard it is to bulk? You know what's the hack to bulking? Fucking rice noodles.
Yeah, I didn't. I answered your poll. How many grams of carbs are in those puppies?
So check this out. A 4-ounce serving is going to yield about 50 grams of carbs. So that means an
What the
8-ounce
hell?
serving is 100 grams.
Wow. So I could eat just 3 of those a day, and I'm there.
Right.
You just got to get your
Wow.
protein. However,
Like
you get
I
your
was just
protein.
crushing them, not thinking about it. I'm like, this is cool. And then I'm like, how did I just stay near 220 so much? And then I like started weighing out the rice noodles, and I went, oh fuck.
Now I get it.
Like there's twice as many carbs per
Damn.
ounce
I didn't
as
realize that.
rice. Yeah.
Thought rice was like the best option.
So if you want a cheat sheet, bulking rice noodles. If you want to maintain, just stick with the rice. If you want to lose weight, eat some potatoes. Potatoes go the other way.
Yeah.
8 ounces of potatoes is like 25 grams of carbs. Like, what?
Yeah, but still people are not understanding how like
They're terrified of potatoes too.
well
Like, what do you mean? I'm like, a whole civilization lived on them. Like, an entire group of people ate nothing but potatoes, and they
You
did
talking
just
about what,
fine.
the Irish motherfuckers or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they ruined their economy and destroyed their soil and had to move here. But sure, no, we'll talk about that.
But there is a lot of nutrients in potatoes.
But what's the
Not a lot of carbs.
like the perception of like I can't eat too much to lose weight seems to not yield actual good results for people. Like people are just severely undernourished in my opinion. Like it seems like no one eats
Well,
enough
yeah,
at all. And then
that's the
when you
majority of
ask them
most
to
people's
eat,
problems.
yeah, like just eat like a regular amount, that just seems like an excruciatingly amount of
So
calories.
much food. How can you do that?
But it's
Still,
not.
some of these people are not even at their maintenance level,
Most
and they're
are
trying to
not.
gain weight. And then a lot of people, like so many of the fad diets, especially like girls will do, it's like 1,200 to max maybe 1,500 calories. My girlfriend has abs, and I think she eats like 2,300 a day.
Right.
Like so many people, it's like they're just not eating. Well, some people, it's like I don't eat fat or I don't eat carbs, or you have the people that don't eat meat, and so many of them just like, bro, you just got to eat the right amount of all of it,
Yeah.
and just try to eat less processed shit, and that's it. And then consistently do that and work out consistently. You do that, you're gonna drop that body fat way down. Like if you want to get below 10 as a guy, below like
No.
16 as a girl, okay, you got to be a little bit even more diligent. But so many people are so far away from those just kind of basic things. Like they don't even know how to like eat smart, let alone like when we talk about actually tracking shit. Where it's like, yeah, you're just if
Good
you
luck.
eat 1,200 calories, bro. That's I fucking do that at Dunkin' Donuts in the morning. I just started. That's your whole day. What did you eat?
It's alarming what kids will come in and tell you that
Oh, and
they've
then
eaten
the
for the
athletes,
day.
oh my God,
It's so
5
bad.
hours, no eating. What the fuck?
And then they're like, I don't have any energy to train. I'm like, no kidding. You think? Like you ate a donut today. Congratulations. Go home. Like
Yeah. It sucks too,
Adults
like
aren't any better.
no,
when
they're
you
not.
have like girls and stuff that want to lose weight. Like they want to lose weight. They're young and they're athletes and they're a little bit on the bigger side. And it's like, but because they're around the freaking, you know, Adderall, fucking some of them coked up friends of theirs that are like rail thin and they don't play sports, they just do the same shit, without the drugs, hopefully. And it's like that's why you're just getting more and more skinny fat, essentially. You're depleting yourself even more, and you're an athlete, so your requirements are way higher than your just regular friend. So you're eating a diet of like avocado toast. That's my favorite thing in the morning that they like to say they eat. and it's like, and then they go
Basic
5
white girl
hours. They have
diet.
lunch. Yeah. Then they have lunch, and it's like a slice of pizza, maybe.
Yeah.
And then they go to practice. They haven't eaten for 4 hours. Then they come to me after practice. They haven't had a snack, and then they go home. And depending on the parent who's cooking, the dinner's decent. So they've had 1 out of their 4 to 5 meals they should eat good, 3 meals skipped, and 1 thing that was basically just carbs.
Yeah, and they're like maybe at 1,500 calories.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
And you're like, you wonder why you're tired all the time, why you can't get through
And then
school,
and
why
then
you.
muscles are inflamed, the joints are not healthy, and they're not recovering from workouts. And I basically just got to do body tempering sessions with them because they're just destroyed. It's like, well, you're and then you're not sleeping. Then they don't sleep because school is so crazy. So
Well, and if you don't have the food, you won't
yeah,
sleep either. It's a crazy thing. I had a client one time tell me, like, I ate more protein and I slept better. I'm like,
no.
oh, your body didn't wake you up because it needed more nutrients. That's a novel idea. They're like, oh, that's how it works. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you think we're doing here? Just a machine trying to get more fuel.
Yep. Convincing people to eat more to lose weight is always a fun one as well.
So all 3 of you people that are listening to this podcast, eat more fucking food.
Eat it all, baby. Eat it all. I have a client that finally, she's awesome. She's been with me for a year. She bought into the macros. She did the thing. She wanted to lose 20 pounds. She lost 20 pounds, and she was like, I'm full all the time and I'm losing weight. What is going on? And I'm like, that's what it's about right there.
That's pretty cool.
I'm like, I
Yeah,
told you it would work. Like, you don't have to
cool.
believe me. Just do it. And
By
it'll
far
work.
the hardest thing to coach, though. Like
Oh.
nutrition coaching is by far,
By far.
the most like unforgiving and thankless part of the job sometimes. Like
It's the one that people always want, though.
well, everybody wants it, but nobody really wants it. Like everybody wants it for 12 weeks, or
Yep.
everybody wants it for, a short while. But like nobody wants it forever. Like, nobody wants to eat fucking chicken and rice every day. I get so many people that want to do this, want to do that, and then I tell them what they can eat. I'm like, have as much of it as you want, and they're like, what about something else? I'm like, what do you mean? So are we eating for performance, or what are we doing here? Like, because you got to flip a switch, and it's no longer a mouth pleasure. It's like, hey, this is going to make me actually do this task better. So, I don't know.
I made a doctor mad the other day when I told him veggies don't matter. Screw them.
I mean,
fiber. That's it. It's like they were like, "No, you need your veggies." I'm like, okay.
Prove it to me. I've not eaten them in like a decade, and I'm fine. Like I said, those potatoes, they got a lot of shit in them. Like meat has a lot of stuff in it. Rice also has stuff in it. It's crazy. If you go down the carnivore,
you're taking your supplement, like so many of the stuff that you're getting for vegetables, you'd have to eat so much of it to get the same that you can get in most of the taking vitamins. And it's like, and then if you're eating good, healthy red meat, I mean, it's like you don't. The argument, I think there's probably a better argument probably for fruit than maybe vegetables, but even still, it's like it's definitely not as necessary. I think as the other stuff.
It's not
like,
as
I think it's
necessary
more
as
of a bonus.
It's not as necessary as people make it out to be.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
They always revert back to like the food pyramid or the my plate.
Oh gosh!
And I'm like,
you guys deal with people that revert to that? Oh my lord!
Well, that's what they were raised on.
I saw the updated one, and it was by Harvard, and one part of it I can't remember what it was. It pissed me off. I said, "Oh, you updated this? That's really good. That's really good. What the fuck?" I think it may have been
where it said Lucky Charms are healthier than like eggs and meat.
No, I think it was still like they had chicken and like fish, like very like wherever it was of importance high, but it was like red meat was in the category of it should be not very often. And I'm like, damn it, you're still behind, bro. You're still all them doctors in there, and y'all still don't know more than whatever the top bodybuilding specialist nutritionist.
They're just out of
whoever's
touch.
paying them.
Yeah,
that's all. You gotta follow the money trail.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, because they got that too. But I mean, just like most doctors, how many of them know about actually how the human body works? No, they know how to repair it. Well, they know how to surgically repair
it. They know how to like treat it and like band-aid it. They don't want you to actually be cured.
No,
they lose out on money.
Back. Yeah. I keep telling my clients that I'm like, well, they're like, I feel better for a little bit, then I don't feel better. I'm like, yeah, that's what they do. They're giving you Band-Aid
I think it's
solutions,
designed that way.
so they keep coming back, so they can give you another shot or another Band-Aid
That's what they get
solution.
taught in school. Yeah.
I'm like, they're a reactive system. They just react to the things that you tell them. They're not preventative. They're not proactive. I'm going to try to be proactive and preventative, just so where you don't have to go see those people. That's the goal here. We're all
These
going to
two
have
words
to.
he's dropping, folks: proactive and preventative. Preach.
I used them right? I think.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Well done,
Those
buddy.
Yeah, I
were,
mean,
those were good.
imagine if they pushed for exercise and eating healthy
Oh,
as the
God.
real reason why. Like it was saying with COVID. No one wants to say COVID is impacting the Black community at a higher rate. Black people don't usually have the same access as other races to gyms, healthier diets. They have a higher level of obesity. So when you have a higher level of obesity, you're more susceptible to disease and infection. That's why people die of the fucking flu. There's no skinny people who are dying from that. It's obese people. But if we tell people to get in shape and eat right,
We're the bad people.
well, our hospitals won't be filled as much because 50% of our deaths are because people are fat.
Well, no, or we're just the villain because we've become a culture of people that can't handle when people say, "Hey, like you're."
Yeah, doctors can't tell you that you're fat anymore.
No,
Okay. That's
That is
crazy.
definitely not allowed.
you're gonna get canceled.
They're
Hey, this-
legally not allowed to say that.
They're legally
Crazy is
not.
that?
You're kidding me.
Yeah, they're legally not allowed to tell
Is
people
it
they're fat. They
is it
literally
a
could
state by
not.
state decision or is it federal law?
That's a
Well, from the
federal
doctors that
law.
I know here in Colorado, they are
Oh,
legally
my.
not allowed to tell people that they are fat
Can you just call them obese?
and they
Then?
need to lose weight. No, you can't do any of that.
You're kidding me.
No, because you can sue.
Well,
Fucking
bring
suing,
it
man.
on. Get off
Ruins
your
everything.
butt
I
and
mean,
come.
I'll tell anybody, like, hey, you got a fucking problem. You need to stop shoving shit down your face. Like,
You signed this waiver. Sorry about you.
well, like, how is it like I was almost the weight that I am now with none of the muscle tissue that I have now at like 18 years old, and I went, hey, this is a problem. Like, that doesn't occur to other people, or do they not care? Like,
no, because
I don't get
society
it.
has told them that it doesn't matter what shape, what size, what this, what that, whatever you are, you're still
No,
beautiful.
stop making noise.
You're still wonderful. Like it's the Lizzo thing, right? Like everyone tells Lizzo
I don't know.
Oh god.
how wonderful Lizzo is and how
Remember
beautiful
they got
she
mad
I'm
is.
at
walking around in a
Ross-
meat
Ross
vehicle, and I
Fate?
can tell you that the better the meat vehicle is running, the better the experience has become.
No, because it's no, nope. It's not
You
allowed
mean no?
anymore. No, it's just no. I'm telling you what people will tell you. That's not true.
That's
You can't tell
What?
me my
not.
reality, buddy.
I'm not telling you your reality. I'm telling you from my experience.
Yeah, they don't
that
care about your experience. They only care
when
about what they think.
when my meat vehicle is functioning at a higher level, the experience is more fun.
I agree, but you can't tell people that.
I don't get injured when I go to do random things like most people do. Like I can play sports still.
Yeah.
Like that's a crazy thing, right? Like, most people are like, oh, I still feel like I'm 18 and try to, and like, no, most of the things I do better than I did when I was 18
I would
at this
agree
point
with
in
that.
time.
I say that all the time. I'm like, man, if I would have known what I was doing at 18 to 22 during my collegiate time, I'm like, what kind of athlete would I have been? So
Like maybe the jumping has fallen off a little, possibly. I also don't train it that well. How do you feel, Khalil? Do you think you perform better now than you did when you were younger?
I could beat one-on-one 16-year-old me. Everything after that until I retire. No. I'm
Oh.
40 pounds bigger than I was, so I'm much slower.
Okay,
Jumping
so
is
in that sport,
jumping
no,
is
but
only like 3 to
powerlifting.
4. Jumping is like 3 to 4 inches less, and that's only because I don't do jumps. If I probably did jumps, and I'm gonna start because now that I'm done with treatments, I'm gonna start going back to my
Oh,
men's
shit.
league once or twice a week. Probably just once a week, just to get my cardio in and basically do all those plyos and not have to do it in the gym and spend more time in the gym. Like I don't want like I remember before I started working with Swede, I did jumps one day after squats, and my IT bands were inflamed for like 3 days. I said, "No, fuck this shit.
wow.
I can't do like fresh right after. I can't do that, especially at my weight. Like I'm 40 pounds essentially over my playing weight was. And if I wanted to be compared to what I was, I would have to be that much lighter. Like I'm just too big for my size. Me and Giannis weigh the same.
I jump way better now. Like
So that's a
way
You and
that's a
better.
foot
Giannis
in the
weigh the
difference.
same. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
7 feet tall.
God,
That guy needs to put some fucking meat on him. Like maybe
No,
not a
he
lot.
did.
no.
He did though.
You don't remember? You never seen him when he?
Yeah.
I know. I
He was
remember
skinny as Kevin
19-year-old
Durant.
Giannis.
He
Giannis
was skinny as Kevin
Antetokounmpo.
Durant.
Yeah, I know, but like at 7 feet tall, don't you think you should be at least like 275?
Oh my
No,
lord,
not
no.
because his style of game is not like Joel Embiid.
Or
He's,
Shaq.
LeBron's
plays
280,
like
is
a
he
point.
not?
No. The heaviest LeBron's been is only 260.
Yeah, he's never been.
Only
And
260.
now he's
He's like 5 inches
240
shorter.
What? No, he's only 2 inches shorter than
LeBron's like
Giannis.
6'9".
Giannis is not 7 feet. Giannis is only 6'10" to 6'11". He's only an inch and a half shorter than inch and a half to 2
Oh,
inches.
at
shorter than him.
6'11", I'm giving you 7 feet.
Well,
Like, I'm
his
sorry.
wingspan is huge. Like his wingspan
Yeah.
is huge. He's a
But like you gotta think like he's naturally like LeBron was always naturally a little bit more muscular than Giannis is. So like the amount of muscle Giannis has had to put on to get to his current size, he'd have to fight hard to get to 260, 270. And it's like he's 240 something and he's the best player in basketball. I
What
don't
was
care that he
his
lost
injury
his
that took him out of the playoffs? What happened there?
I don't remember.
fell on his tailbone.
Fell on his tailbone.
Yeah, he
And
was like
did more
folded in the
deadlifts to
air
have a
and
bigger
landed
booty.
perfect, like right on that shit. That shit was terrible.
Oof.
But he didn't keep. You know, he only missed. What was it?
One game, I think.
Two? No, it was 2.5 because he left halfway through the first and then he missed game 2 and 3.
The
Because
season was just a failure after that.
Game two they
Oh,
won,
stop.
so they were like,
Just
try to
stirring
do
the
it.
populace. That was a
I
great
saw-
interview, though.
Yeah,
Great
no,
interview.
I like what he
I
said
I
about
can't
like
argue with him.
life and being failures, but if you're getting paid to play basketball and you have a
mean-
legitimate chance to win a championship and you lose to the H seed
But
the
they
way they did, and you get beat 4-1,
well,
you're not a failure, but the season was a failure. Like
correct.
those two, but he should have, which I would have liked if he would have said that part too, because he should be saying, "Yeah, I'm not going to be thinking of slipping my wrist just because I fucking lost a basketball. At the end of the day, I'm going to pay $250 million contract to dribble this fucking ball." But there, like I remember Shannon, I think, was talking about it. There's people in that organization that may lose or get a promotion based on how that season goes. That's a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, it fucking matters. You don't think they were like, there's people that are sweating. Like Mike Budenholzer, it's sad. He lost his brother, they found out, in a car accident midway through that series. Now, maybe that's why his adjustments were zero. But someone is probably getting fired or replaced because they lost 4-1. Because guess who they're not going to fire? Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Well,
Who they going to look at? Middleton. He still only averages 16 points. He keeps getting hurt. And he's getting
In his name,
him
bro.
and Holiday.
Middleton. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, he's a middle of
But
the pack guy, you know.
But
Maybe he
Giannis,
needs to
like
replace
you
him.
said, Giannis also he sat out 2.5 games. You're talking about the best player
Yeah.
in the league sitting out 2.5 games, where obviously if he plays in those games, it makes a big difference.
Hey,
But-
guys, allegedly the best player in the league is also out right now. So I'm calling nonsense on that also.
Wait, Joel?
Stir the pot there. Yeah, he's been out, hasn't he?
Who?
He's not the best player in the league.
Who?
He allegedly
Joel
is.
Embiid.
Oh, I think he was the MVP, but I don't think he's the best player.
He's
in the
also
league.
been
Yeah,
hurt every
allegedly.
year of his career.
Now I'll say this. Let's say Joel Embiid beats the Celtics, goes on. He's gonna beat the next team because the next team is either gonna be Miami or the Knicks. Now, if he were to lose that, he's gonna be way back down. But let's say he gets to the finals, and then he beats the Nuggets, the Warriors, or the Lakers, which are all teams that maybe on paper, I would say, except for the Warriors, are probably better overall teams. And he beats them, and he knocks out the guy that he's always competing with for MVP and Jokic, or he knocks out LeBron and AD, or he ends, which I think this is the last year for that Warriors dynasty, and he wins the ring. It's just like Shaq said, you won, all right. I have no problem with you saying you're the best player, but yeah, Joel Embiid and James Harden on the same team who have both flamed out of playoffs bad? No, hell no. You get like, yeah, great, you finally won your MVP.
Prove it. Prove it.
You know, now let me see how much. Let me see those 40 points and 12 free throws a game. Let me see if you do that in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Like, Now, if he loses but he did great, and James Harden does the shit that he usually does, and just does terrible, okay, I won't blame him. But
Hey,
but then I won't jump
James
against.
carried him game 1 without Embiid. He wins. I mean, 43
He
points.
did Houston, James, and he made that shot. I was happy for him.
Couldn't miss.
I was like,
man.
oh god, he's gonna miss that shit, and he made it.
He clutch. Well, boys, going on an hour 15 here. Anything else you'd like to discuss?
I mean, I like stirring the pot. It's kind of fun.
Bring to light. Well, we stirred enough of that pot today. Look out, we took a shot at Lizzo today.
I mean, I didn't take any shots at anything.
FBI is going to be knocking on our door tomorrow.
You remember they got mad at? You remember the fat people got mad at Adele because she lost weight?
Yeah.
Said, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
Isn't that amazing? Like, hey, screw you.
You helped
Screw you
yourself?
for looking good.
You bettered yourself. Yeah. Good for Adele. But we don't.
She was always a good-looking girl in the face, but I was like, yeah, I ain't messing with that. She's like 400. Now she look good. I said, man.
Well, yeah, but we don't condone that kind of behavior anymore. We don't like praise that kind of behavior anymore. It's like, oh, you're just one of them. You're one of them people. You're a fat shamer.
How dare you? Did you? I saw a thing on Twitter. Budweiser lost, 26% of their sales.
Oh yeah,
and then
the campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a magazine that was LGBTQ whatever friendly that was mad for not sticking up for that person. And so it's like now you're getting it on both ends, Anheuser-Busch. Like you lost sales, and now the people you're sticking up for fucking hate you too.
Yeah. Well done,
Good job.
buddy. Well done.
Just well, that's what the saying, go woke, go broke, right? Like,
it's just so crazy because it's like with the Nike sponsored that same trans woman for a stuff, but put it under the women's section. I'm like, just make their own. It's so crazy that it's offensive to say there's a difference between a trans woman and a woman. And
but
you
it's
can't
offensive
say
for you to say it, Kalil, because you're black. You get to say it, right?
No, they still get mad at me. Yeah, I'm still a bigot.
Then nobody can say it. Then I guess
they're mad at it. They're mad at everybody.
Well, then you probably turn into a conservative right away. I bet.
Yes, I do. Which is
immediately
it's
they just assume. Yeah.
Gotta fit into these labels.
Like I'm from New York. I grew up around gay people, plenty of them. That's like the hub. I grew up like
everybody
later,
though.
As the trans community came more to the forefront, I was around them too. I had no problem with it. But when you start talking about destroying women's records in sports, and you start talking about enforcing on parents by the state, making them say you're either going to lose your kid or you're going to let them get this surgery and medically castrate them. Those two things are fucking retarded. Like,
hey, you can't say that word, bro.
They're gonna have, this is the thing. They're gonna have a problem with me when my kid goes to school because I know have you heard of this shit with the furries?
Yeah.
Yes.
Letting kids identify
no, thank
animals and fucking walking them on leashes. And remember, in the beginning, they said it's never going to get that crazy. People aren't going to do crazy stuff.
Yeah,
They're not going to impose their rights and start hindering on everybody else's rights. That's what happened.
Man, you got a whole generation that hasn't read 1984. They don't know.
Yeah. Cassville actually had some kids that were trying to get that passed, and the school board was like, no.
Dude, where you live, they went so backwards that they want to start spanking kids again. That's crazy.
Don't bring this. That's not even the. God
That's awesome.
No,
no, I think it's great.
Yeah, they're beating the kids in your state.
So what's funny about the whole situation?
These kids need to get smacked, though. I'll tell you that.
Well, here's the media at its finest, right? There's 4 schools in the area that do it. And of 3 of the 4, Cassville was the only one that took the policy away and then brought it back. So the other 3 just never got rid of it.
Never did anything about it. They're just like, yeah, we're still beating kids.
And so now...
Maybe you need a little bit of fear. I don't think it's so bad.
Nice. Then the parents don't have to do all of it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why the parents liked
it. You tell the
it.
teacher to go fuck himself. The teacher should be able to smack you.
Listen.
Hey, little motherfucker, you don't get this shit. You see these kids, they be talking to some like it's the football coach who's also the science teacher, talking shit to them. And it's like, after a while, it's like, the best lesson this kid can learn is like, don't fuck with somebody you can't fight. Like, you should learn that lesson.
But like, they made it seem like it was like, that's the first resort. They're just like, oh, you get in trouble, you're getting spanked. It's like, no, the parents have to sign off on it. it's the last resort. Like
That's
they're
funny.
gonna.
You're on the list. Like the teacher checks is like, oh yeah, you did your ass beat today.
You need to stay after for 3 minutes. You're like, oh shit.
Oh, you already did this. You did this. You did that. Oh,
Here we go.
go.
Do you guys ever watch Dazed and Confused? When they're
Yes.
fucking hazing the high school kids by fucking backing the shit out of them with the mallets. Like teachers have their own custom ones
I've
with different
never
names
seen
on
that.
them and shit.
No.
You've never seen Dazed and Confused?
I don't think so.
Might be Ben
no.
Affleck's best movie ever. But
Oh, okay. Now I have to watch it. Okay.
yeah,
I
it's
like the
amazing.
Blues Brothers when they were beating them with the rulers. And then they came back as adults and then they beat them again. Never told to get smacked. Sometimes I say something, me and my mom smacks me. I'm like, yeah, I deserve it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
There's checks and balances. There should be.
Yeah.
Well, I think parents. Okay, I don't want to speak for everyone because I'm going to be a parent, but like parents in general want to be kids' friends now. They don't want to be their
Oh
parent.
my god, yeah.
They don't want to be
And
their.
You don't
everybody,
wanna
they're
discipline
little
them?
people instead of kids. They're little people. What the
Yeah.
hell is that shit, bro? 3-year-old
Well,
yelling at his mom.
That's the creepy thing is they are little people. So if you treat them like that and then they turn into big people, you see what we have. Craziness.
Yeah.
Absolute lunacy.
You know how many kids
You can
don't
do
know
whatever
how to
you
shake
want,
a hand,
like-
look at somebody in the face and
No.
say, yes, sir, yes, man? That doesn't exist.
Everybody's a winner. No, they're not.
They
Hate to
started
break
that my
it to you.
senior year. They didn't want to give me the, and this was because I think it was because I was in New York. They're like, oh yeah, the rule is just all the seniors get an award, no individual trophies. I'm like, and everybody in this fucking district knows I'm the MVP, and I don't get no award. I said I worked this hard. I should be getting something for it.
Yeah.
I said this guy's the 13th man. He's just a senior. I shouldn't be getting the same fucking trophy as him. The hell is this?
13,
What
man.
was the state that got rid of the valedictorian and salutatorian thing? It's like we're not
Oh
doing.
my god!
It's
Are
look
you
it up.
kidding
It's on
me?
Google. Yeah, they.
It
Someone
wasn't
got rid of
one the best in your
valedictorians?
class anymore.
All right, I'm Googling.
Wow, that's
Oh, why would you
terrible.
just
That's
let's
terrible.
promote mediocrity even more? I'm gonna double down on this, and no one wants to be mediocre. Like nobody wants that.
I promise you.
Some
it's-
people have to deal with it, but nobody wants it. Whatever. I'm sure there's something he does all the time because he wants to be good at it, not because what you do.
Let's see if I can.
That's why people hate their jobs because they do them just to do them, not because they want to be good at them.
Yeah.
Life tip: you want to enjoy your work, go do something you like, and you'll want to get better at it, and then it won't feel like work as much. Pretty crazy.
Oh, it's California. What a surprise.
Oh, I thought it was weird when I was looking at schools.
North Carolina. Competition
In-
hurts students, is what it says.
Competition hurts students.
That's what it
Oh my
says.
god. Competition hurts the weak. Doesn't hurt students.
Well, at least
Gets
the
rid of
weak
the
can
weak.
find out, hey, I'm not good at this. Clearly.
Yeah. Well,
What
that's
do you
being
do
You
when
weak.
find
It's
out what you're
okay.
good at.
Well, yeah, but like, what do you do when you go to your first job and you're like, oh, we're all equal? It's like, no, you get paid on
No,
production
nope,
here,
not
buddy.
everybody's getting
You
that
get
promotion.
paid on production.
Well, they go home and quit. That's what happens.
Yep. Go to the
All
next
kinds
job.
of crazy stuff. It's fascinating. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if there's no competition, then everything's got to be played fair.
Then what's the point of waking up in the morning?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
I tried
boy.
that life. I tried to be in the corporate world.
Tune in next time
And
to see if we've
They
solved
didn't,
this.
they didn't like
riddle.
me there because I would sleep and still do more work than most of the employees. I would get paid for sleeping. They're like, you shouldn't be sleeping on the job. I'm like, I'm doing as much as everyone else. Like, why do I get penalized with more work because I do it faster? How does that make any sense?
That brings you back to the school action. I used to get in trouble because I would finish first and be talking.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Dude,
"It's
you always
really
get
hard enough,
penalized
that's
in
why."
regular society for being awesome. It's like, hey, here's some more stuff for you because you did well. Like,
Hey,
what?
Here's some more busy work for you to do. Go ahead. Sweet.
Freshman year of science class, I would have answers before the teacher figured them out. She's like, you sure you don't want to do honors? I'm like, no, why would I want to do more work?
Yeah.
Like, this gets me the same diploma that the
I'm
other
good.
class does. What? Like, what?
I'm good right here.
Like, thanks, lady. Just let me know if you need some answers. I'll help you out. Penalize the good,
That's crazy.
reward
man.
the weak.
Well,
We're living in 1984.
Well, gentlemen, I must.
Nathan's got to go.
I
Production
do.
team's got to take a hike.
Well, no, production team has to go help a client. So
Oops. All right.
But-
Well, it's been fun. It's been real. And I didn't get to see Kalil this whole time, so it was fun listening to you, Kalil. But
Wait, you didn't
You
it's been
see
couldn't
it?
frozen
see
on
me?
my end. On the whole time, it's been frozen upside down.
Just saw frozen upside down Khalil the whole time.
The whole time. So he's just been. He's like the caller. Like, caller, are you on the line? So I'll have to maybe watch the YouTube version and see what's going down.
Yeah, he'll be on that one. Trust me, he's been moving
I'll
around.
see
a
him
lot.
doing all the edits. Hey guys, in case you didn't know, I have Twitter, Substack, YouTube, Instagram, everything.
Deleting this.
I have
out.
a
Gone.
weekly newsletter. I got all kinds of shit. So if you need content, I got tons of it.
Yeah,
It's
hey,
my shameless plug.
there's
Like,
your
follow,
shameless,
subscribe, all the
shameless
above.
plug. Khalil, I'm gonna, unless you want to shout them out, I'll put your socials in the description here and get some people to come check out. what
These
you
guys
got going.
also have social medias too. I don't know if you guys know, but it is basically my podcast. So thanks.
Yeah, we're not really here. We're just here.
Nathan just does all the dirty work,
We're just here to
and then
support
Cleo
Alex.
fills all the time with. Yeah, exactly. This is all just my vehicle to make us rich.
It's a support group. Let's
First
be
one to get a
honest.
yacht has to invite everyone else. Okay,
Deal done.
manifesting that into the universe.
I'm not buying. I
Yachts,
would never buy
boats, and hoes.
boats and hoes. Boats and hoes.
there are no rules on the water, so no rules and no wives.
I'll swing it. I'll see if I can swing that one. I don't know.
No
What
rules
happens
and
on the
no
water
wives.
stays on the water.
Nathan, where'd you go?
Can't
Well,
go
Alex
nowhere
was
without
having a
mine.
Alex
I
was
can't
having a
go
seminar
nowhere.
on a yacht. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That is such a good idea.
There's gonna
I
be
need a
hoes in
fucking
that
yacht as a
My
business
wife will
expense.
be there.
We got Conjugate Seminar Yacht Edition coming to you 2024. Here we go. We start in Miami, and who knows where we end up. But we're not going through that Bermuda Triangle.
Bird will still be like, well, since we're on a boat, we're on the water. Now, if you have a swimmer and the tide is strong, you're gonna want to.
Yes. Get Bird on the yacht. Could you imagine Deppin on a yacht? Oh,
Oh.
man.
That man would be drunk.
Deppin on the yacht would be the best thing ever.
Drunk? I think drunk would be the least of our worries if Deppin's on the yacht.
Dude, you didn't come to the seminar because you're a jackass,
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
Deppin's awesome to go fucking hang out with. So Deppin on a yacht, that's a life goal. We got to get him on one. Like, that'd be great. Pick him up in the Dirty Jers and just head down to Miami. That's the seminar, right? It's a
Oh, we're going down the coast now. The fuck?
It's a
yeah,
two-day
we're going
trip.
down the
Yeah, it's a
coast, dude. We're
two-day
going
trip.
from Atlantic City to Miami, and when we get back to Miami, we all got to fly back to Vegas.
Jesus
Make-
Christ. What are we?
You said you wanted in multiple locations, bro. I don't know what you're trying to do here, but
You
Are
can
we
knock them all
stopping at
off in
ports
one
and
trip.
Doing seminars. What the fuck?
yeah, it's a seminar at each stop and on the yacht.
There's like squat racks on it. Like, nah, just stopping by. Hey, you want to get on this yacht? Heard about the conjugate system?
Hey, man, Liver King's got a squat rack on a fucking H1 Hummer. I think we can get one on a yacht. Okay.
We could just take the pieces and build one, for goodness sake.
All right. Well, till next time, gentlemen.
All right, boys. Signing off. Khalil, thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Khalil.
appreciate it. It was awesome.
And even though Khalil's the reason we all had this podcast in the first place. So
True. Actually, very true. So
good first guest. Way to go, Khalil.